SSBC special. You will be able to be following out on the social media. We here, I think we will be having in the next 1 hour, we will have a variety of discussions with many conversations. Try to be with us, please don't go away. My name's Soro David. This early morning today, we are looking at actually what we are going to be discussing at the tangible point we are going to look at is Miss South Sudan International, representing South Sudan, who is none other than Mila Deng. She will be with us shortly, but then we still have to discuss issues to do with environmental health. With me in the studio with my colleague Bara, we will be able to discuss on something to do with environmental health. Good morning, Bara. How are you today?
I'm okay. Good morning, Sarah. How are you?
Great, great. Nice having you with me today. It's been quite a while.
Yeah.
Where have you been hiding, Bara?
I've just been home, you know, the sun is too hot.
Yeah, that's great, yeah? Sure, sure. Bara, I think let us try to look at today. You know, Juba City is a city of many activities that looks and we're expecting Juba town to be looking one of the cities that represents South Sudan outside there in reflection into the capital. How do you look into the environment, environmental health? Because as we walk around, you see a lot of cleanness. This morning, the city council is making sure they work hard to make sure the city is clean. Vehicles are moving around, children are going to school, and actually reflecting to the image of the country that looks into the city today, that environmentally people are clean and those kind of things. When you're coming over around this morning, have you tried to go through and see?
Definitely. On my way here, we had to drop my siblings first to school, and the environmental was so good.
Okay.
People were so happy in the environment. We came across mobile runabout, whereby you could see the school children walking. Everybody was happy. So which road did you use?
No, I used, you know, I stay far outside within the city, and so I come and I see, you know, of course, it's a rush hour, busy hour where people rush into their offices, people go for work, you know, to make an ends meet, you know, finding ways of life to make at the end of the day, you know. It's kind of like that. And let's look at actually the roads. Sometimes some of the roads are a little bit not good, far outside, potholes, and because some people use as border to rush into their offices, and others use their own cars. Looking at also the traffic jam itself, sometimes, especially the Gudela Road, where sometimes I you see it's too jam,
especially in the morning
congested.
And around 6 p.m. Okay, definitely I would say people need to be driving carefully because of the holes within the roads and overspeeding. Do not go against the traffic when you're driving. So when you're being stopped by traffic within the roadside, it's not like somebody hates you, but they are trying to make you follow the rules and regulations for your own safety. So whenever you're driving, just stay calm and, you know, be motivated.
People should mind also of others. Should mind of others, not only you driving. Sometimes they rush into the schools where there are other schools that when kids are taken to school, you know, there are rules and regulations. After 7, kids cannot enter this school premises. Therefore, they have to rush also to make sure these kids goes early. It is a phenomenon today that you know, children wakes up early around 5, sometimes 4, 5. They already rush into these schools, whereby also distance also matters sometimes. Really, that is also very important. And how do you look into the environmental health, looking at actually this dry season? I think it's kind of looking too hot these days.
Oh my God! Like
people become having sleepless nights. Sometimes you sleep late. Like me, I like when I woke up this morning, I got surprised. It's already shining, and so but the time is still, though it's shining and becomes too hot, whereby, you know, you need to sleep when you have a cold water to drink sometimes, and it's becoming recurrent. How do you look at your sites? Is it same?
Oh my God, the weather has always been hot. Remember, we're under the same city, South Sudan. Like today's weather was hot, but let's hope for the day it could be at least cold. So you need to stay dehydrated and make sure, I know the people that are running up and down, you will always have headache, feeling like you have egg stomach. And make sure you are careful of what you eat, because this sun could give you diarrhea anytime if you eat something wrong, and avoid chili. Like if you're a big fan of chili, take it slow.
Sure, chili also.
You should also stop it.
Yeah, of course, sure. I also eat chili, but then when you look at actually at the weather today, you need to take a lot of water. And taking a lot of water, sometimes you also need to rehydrate yourself.
Exactly.
Just because, you know, with this heat of Juba today, you know, the temperature Fahrenheit has gone to 42 almost. It's too hot.
It's too hot, especially when it comes like at midday, from 1 in the afternoon to 4. That's
so many things.
Definitely.
You become too weak to do many things, and when you get engaged into something, you feel like, hey, the sun is too hot and I can't do it. Unless you're inside AC. But even in the AC itself, when you get outside, you know, it changes. And sometimes it's so effective.
It gives some people
flu and headache, sometimes these kind of things. What do you think could be the preventive measures? Could we pray?
The water's going to be okay.
But now when the rain starts also, sometimes we may see that...
Are you aware that it's been drizzling 2 days ago?
Yeah, it started 3 days ago, I think. It's been drizzling.
It drizzled like
around 2 in the night. Yeah, sometimes.
Exactly.
Around dawn also, it kind of... You know, in the morning hours, like around 5 to 6, it gets too cold. Unless it starts shining, it's when you see... And especially when you take tea and you see, you start sweating and those kind of things. And also smearing, you know, it becomes quite a little bit, you become uncomfortable.
You should be smearing yourself, because you know this season, otherwise you're going to look so white.
Yeah, you look, the color changes, but at least you should put, you know, people use as Vaseline these days.
Yeah, Vaseline is so good.
Yeah, and it also depends, just because some people have a natural sweat, remember?
Yeah.
Even if you apply, and sometimes adding into the humidity, it becomes too hot, and it makes you quite uncomfortable to do something.
So what do you love doing when it's this hot season? What do you do?
I love being in a cool environment, and sometimes when you got nothing to do, you sit under.
I heard you do swimming activities.
Yeah, of course, sure, sometimes.
Okay.
Sometimes I go swimming, and, you know.
Come swim with us.
Yeah, but not really as such. It doesn't need you to go swim when it's too hot. Yeah, you need to adjust the environment and look. Do you think about swimming only? Some people go as far as sauna, some people go as far as steam baths. This season is there are those who goes for it, you know.
Especially, but I think this is not the right time for it.
It could
sauna,
be.
Let it be around evening hours.
Evening hours, around 5 to 6.
Yeah.
To remove, you know, it's sauna in steam baths. Sometimes people, some of them goes also for gym, you know.
Yeah.
The gym boys and gym girls.
That's good.
So to remove these toxins out of, you know, that is health-wise. Health-wise is very important. That is exercise also.
Yeah. Exercising helps you so much.
Definitely.
The more you remove the heat, it's like some sickness are gone with it.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. When you have something, you know, some body pain and those kind of things, and you do that exercise, especially in the gym, and exercising also to swim, you know, it releases you, some muscles get straightened, and you look fresh, you know.
I know, right?
Yeah, that's it. So what do you have to say on looking at actually at the rate, what do you think people like consuming these days, like on meals that people like in this heat? Mostly.
Definitely.
All I know is our life generally is 75% water. That's all I know.
75%?
Water.
What it's 65%.
Of course.
Sure,
water. Absolutely.
Yeah, everyone feels so thirsty, dehydrated, of which means I'll also take water right now. So depending on the food stocks that people eat this season, I believe these are greens. Most people are focused on greens.
Greens.
Like okra, molekia, so many greens.
That's a nice food. I think this greens. You have drank also today green in color, environmentally.
Okay, people think it's the grass.
Sure. Okay, and that one looks actually, it reflects on our environment, which is also marvelous. And when people put on white clothes, that it reflects the sun heat, and if you put on a black, it absorbs heat. Trying to absorb heat. So therefore, people these days do not want heat.
Black is my favorite, but I can't put it on this season.
But Bharat is something that is so, it's quite amazing. But again, looking at our environment, you find someone putting on a suit while it's too hot, walking on the street. Are those ethics a little bit, is it connected to our environment? Because Juba is too hot today.
It is.
And you find someone putting on shoot in a very hot environment, walking all along, sweating. What do you have to say about that? How do you educate the people looking into that?
To be very honest with you, some people's environment depends on suits. Like, let's talk of the lawyers and everyone among the ministry,
Yeah, sure.
including us. So there is no way you're going to say you don't want to put on a suit. But you could at least...
It's part of smartness.
It's part of smartness. And it is a must point. So you could put on your suit, but make sure you know where you are.
Exactly.
Do not be at the wrong environment.
Good.
Yeah, you can wear something like your shirt from in and then the suit out. You know when to wear it exactly. That point whereby you are in a room representing, you should wear that suit. But oh my God.
No, it's important to, yeah, it's a must. It's important when
you can dress official.
Official, yeah. Special, simple.
Simple. Exactly. We're speaking of something official.
That's it.
Like if you're not presenting somebody in the court today, just dress as like official. And you should know the colors that you're dressing.
Great.
Knowing that you're in this place, as a lawyer, you can't be seen in green.
Great.
You understand?
Yeah,
you can't be seen in green, in yellow. You know what to wear.
Yeah, I understand, but you know, if you look be presentable, and looking at also this, as you did mention, those who goes to the court, at least you have to move with your tie, you have to move with your coat, you have to put it on. At that particular time, you're doing presentation.
Yeah.
And even it's necessary when you're inside an AC, inside, in most cases, there are those who have AC in the car. They can put on, it's okay, doesn't matter. But at least when you're outside, it becomes too hot and, you know, it becomes difficult.
It doesn't matter to change twice in a day.
Depends on the environment, as you said.
Yeah,
sure. Sure, that's really very, very important.
Sure.
And how about me and Bara?
This is how we dress, like you're saying us? Yeah, remember, we dress occasionally. If the occasion requires you to dress official, then we are in it, right?
And that's why we're saying when you go representing something, then you have to dance to that tune, you know?
Exactly.
Dance to that tune where the environment tells you to do what you are supposed to.
Definitely.
So, Bara, I think from here, as we look at what is your expectation for today?
My expectation for today is a good vibe, friendly, put a smile on your face.
Great.
However, do not be down. Don't let anything.
Always have hopes.
Exactly. Be happy. That's all I can say. Be happy. Make sure you drink water and stay dehydrated. We don't want to see nobody in the hospital.
Hey, that is definite, because you cannot say you don't want to. It's natural. Now, as we're talking, some people in the hospital.
Let's, for instance, say this is you and I, Soro. You know you are supposed to take water. You know you are supposed to eat at this particular time. But then because you have a lot of work to do, then you ignore it, saying, oh, I have to do this work. Later onwards, you lose appetite for food. What do you think is going to happen the next day?
Now, if you look at those who cannot afford, let them take water. What is life?
No, definitely there must be a meal.
There must be a meal once in a day, at least. So engagement with friends. Hey, come on, let's go have.
Exactly.
Those kind of things. Health-wise. I think that's all about our discussion for today. Our viewers of Alpha Morning Show, we will be going for a short break, looking at the view of Juba City, and actually what we've been discussing, we're looking at environmental change and looking at actually how South Sudanese should conduct themselves into this period where it's actually getting hotter and hotter. And I think as soon it will stop, this hot season, where it will start raining, and we shall have that break, and as we will be back, we will have something very, very unique. I think we first introduced it from the beginning that we're going to have Miss International South Sudan, who is none other than Amelia Deng. She will be with us here. She had actually traveled a lot and trying to represent South Sudan. She'll be able to tell us which countries she is going to representing South Sudan on the beauty contest, and looking at South Sudan being actually a country that people couldn't believe some things to happen of that nature, but can still do it. And let's go for that short break. We'll be right back, and we will continue with her as she will be with us here in the studio. For those of you who have just joined us, please try to be with us on the social media, on the YouTube, and looking at SSBC Special. Follow us over there, and we are here live bringing you this program, as we will have this very, very important topic today, looking at the beauty contest, which is actually our main topic that we'll be discussing, and the person concerned with us will be in the studio shortly. Let's go for that short break. We'll be right back. Stay with us. And welcome back. You are still watching Alpha Morning Show. Of course, my name is Soro Davis. I think earlier on, viewers of SBC, that is Alpha Morning Show in particular, I was trying to remind you on that we are going to have a very important guest with us in the studio, who is very unique and looking at actually the outrages of South Sudan, being represented internationally. That is none other than Amelia Deng, international, representing us South Sudan outside the world, and she is right here with us in the studio. I think she'll be able to tell us why she has represented South Sudan and what are her inspirations, looking at actually her being representing a small country. Some people may be wondering what's going on outside there, and this country has just emerged and young, but not young in many activities, as we also represent many worldwide, looking at the basketball, looking at football matches, and looking at South Sudan is a country, an independent country that actually has to be recognized, social, political, economic. Actually, this is one of source of tourism attraction in our country as a beauty contest. Let us try to be with us this year with us. We are here with, I think, Miss Amelia International, representing South Sudan. You are 25 years old, yes, representing South Sudan, looking at actually the beauty contest. What are your inspiration? With my colleague here, Bara, Also, I think soon she'll also do something, I guess. But
Hopefully.
what do you have to say?
About
Isn't it something amazing, and looking at actually this happening today?
It's beautiful. It's really beautiful, and I love the journey she's been through.
I think greatly. The first question that would go to you: what inspired you into this amazing activity?
My journey of being in the pageantry world started not just recently, but 5 years ago.
Great.
And the reason that I end up indebting into this journey was to set an example to young girls in South Sudan.
Great.
And it has always been a passion that I have within me to show the world something unique about South Sudan, something that they don't know about. And what really drove me actually to even be presenting South Sudan internationally was to get a platform. And the main aim of getting the platform was to form my organization,
Great.
which is Nation's Hope. And my main aim for the organization is to help the street children, take them back to school, and also inspire young girls to be able to be themselves and all of that. So most of it is always about just to be the face of the country, set an example, and be an ambassador of South Sudan.
Great, a great pigeon. Now, looking at this, actually, it's quite amazing. And looking at actually how you emerged with it, can you try to tell, people may not be knowing, you know, some people start it from day one, from early age. Which age did you start from? Because now you're 25 years old. Did you have that dream from the start that I would want to be like so and so? You know, we have many mentors, we have role models.
We do.
Looking at Miss World, looking at, there are many that represents, you know, people look at this aspiration from many other people from outside that you look at, would I one day step and become like so and so, and those kind of things. What inspired you?
Actually, the funny part is that this was never my aspiration. So one thing I take pride in is my background of how I grew up, and that is my dad. So I had a lot of opportunities that a lot of kids didn't have in South Sudan because of the war torn that we went through. So I was born and raised in a different country, so I didn't experience all the chaotic things that happen in our country. And in the point of that, I've always had this immense passion watching news with my dad.
Great.
And one time during 2013 war that happened, there was a documentary that was happening in Al Jazeera, and it really drove me. I was really curious. I wanted to get to know more what is really happening, and it broke my heart when I saw how they were portraying kids, you know, who lost their parents, and how much they were suffering because they couldn't have all the protection they needed because their mom and their dad were killed in the war. So that part really made me appreciate myself. And that was the time I took the oath, and I said, I even told my dad, I was like, Dad, if I end up finishing my school, I want to have a platform. I want to start an organization that can help these kids out to show.
Wow, you had an ambition.
Yes, I did. That was the ambition. I was actually 14 years old when I had that ambition.
Great.
And for me to be able to proceed and achieve my ambition, I had to do something about that. So that tuned me back to 2018 when my auntie came across an advertisement about Miss World South Sudan. And growing up, I've always been a tall, skinny girl, you know. And people have this assumption when you're tall and you're skinny, and our amazing skin also. You can be a model, you can be a beauty queen and all that. And I think my auntie saw the potential in me being a beauty queen. So she gave me that suggestion, and that's when I traveled back to South Sudan and I started the training. And in the point of me starting the training, I could see a lot of girls. We were like probably 30 or 40. Most of these girls are experienced. They had this was my first time. But because I had determination in me and I had an ambition and I knew this was the platform that would be able to help me out start my project, I ended up putting all of my energy on that. I didn't even rest. I could use like 20 hours a day just to practice to make sure that I...
So amazing.
Yes.
And now let's look into something. Would you briefly try to tell us, you really had that ambition. You work hard for it to make sure who you are today. It's not an easy thing to you know, normally when someone does something, you do it for a reason. And you have an objective, you'll always achieve. And you are already on the top. Would you be able to tell us because you said you were not groomed up right from your country of origin.
Yes.
Would you tell us where you grew up yourself from, and how you got that inspiration and having that South Sudanese are sharp people when they're outside there, you know?
Yeah, definitely. I was born and raised in Kenya. That is where all my childhood, my studies, everything, I did it in Kenya. And you know, Kenya is a wonderful country. I call it a second home because it gave me the accommodation
it's a sisterly country, of course.
Yes,
part
it
of
is.
East Africa.
We are part of that, yeah. So I grew up there. I did my studies. I had all the opportunities that other kids were really hoping for. And because I felt I was privileged enough, I felt the best part for me to give back to my country is to do something to show that I am grateful that I went through that, but also I need to also remind the kids that also they have somebody that can be able to cover up the motherly love they didn't have by creating the organization that I end up creating.
That's good.
So this is where Nation's Hope was born. And back to the story of Miss World, I end up being the first runner-up among other girls, and I didn't expect that. So when I became first runner-up, I got the platform I needed. We formed the organization. We started visiting orphanages. I would even go and do my birthday on the street with other kids, you know, just to interact with them. Yes, to interact with them. And I realized these kids, then, I mean, the name being called street kids is not what defines them.
Yeah, what someone
smart.
deserves.
Yes, they don't deserve that because they're beyond smart. And one thing that I'm really grateful about is that these kids, they have very much dream of building the country, you know, and the only thing they need is just someone to see them, someone to protect them, and someone to actually give them the chance to actually prove people wrong,
to empower them,
so that they can be able to be what they want to be. Yeah. So,
but now looking at actually who you are today, who are some of your role models? Because now you've been living in Kenya, you may be having some role models that really also gave you that courage, encouraged you, and looking at what you are today. Who are some of your role models that are looking at worldwide, in Africa, and in Kenya in particular? There must be people who are your role models, who brought you up, and including South Sudan.
We definitely have people that we look up to, but I have only two strong people that really are my reason for my driving force behind all the things I do, and that is my mom and dad. Those are the people I look up to, because the standard they set for me and how much they believed in me and how much they pushed me and how much they gave me the freedom to just be myself is something that is so rare from other, something so rare that other kids don't have. So because of them, I am who I am today.
Now,
basically,
Amelia,
speaking of you being inspired by your mom and dad, that shows how much you respect them.
Yes, I do.
And you look so good.
Thank you.
Thank you for respecting your mom and dad, and that's one of the 10 commandments mentioned. Always respect your mom and dad. And you became an inspiration to young girls out there, especially to the children that you've been with. And speaking of your organization, how are they doing right now?
The kids are doing well. As we all know also, sometimes it's not an easy thing because it's an organization that I'm running from my own end, you know. And so far, there comes a time that it's dark for us where we don't end up handling all the responsibilities of their needs, you know. So far, I can just say that it's by the grace of God that we are trying, and they're also doing well.
I think before we go to another question, there's something you didn't point it out.
Yes.
You know, who most do you admire? You know, looking at actually, I still ask that question.
Yes, you did.
Whom do you think you admire most? Looking at what you, because there must be something that you had seen ever since you were young. I would want to become like, you know, for us, we look at like, for example, a presenter would want to admire to be like, to want to be like Winfrey Oprah.
Yes.
That used to be one of the greatest presenters in the world, and she's to move so much recognized, and looking at actually best news anchors, looking at those. Whom have you admired? Those are some of your role models, looking at your aspiration.
Okay, I understand the aspect of where you want me to have a role model, but in my own point of view, I make myself as my own role model. And one thing I know for sure is that
You can make it.
Yes, I can make it. And also the dreams that I had, I did not end up having that dream admiring another person, but it is something that just came to me overnight, and I felt this is what I'm compelled to be with. So most of the time I really do admire other people, but I do admire myself.
Admire yourself,
yes,
because it first has to come from you,
yes,
from your heart.
Yes.
Because when you don't have that zeal and having that morale in yourself, you cannot make it.
Definitely.
Now, Miss International South Sudan, who is behind you? Who is funding you? Looking at actually pushing you, because the way you're getting stronger and stronger, there must be someone behind you. And you know, there's a saying that without fire, without
There's
smoke,
no smoke.
without smoke,
There's no
there's
fire
no
without
fire,
smoke.
Yes,
and without fire, there's no smoke.
Yes, I precisely with my journey when I started, most of my support came from my family, and in that part of it also, apart from my philanthropy work, I'm also business oriented.
Good.
So when I was younger, I created a couple of few business ventures. I also have a cosmetic company which I run, and apart from that, also I'm a consultant.
Wow.
So most of the drive came from my family, and in the part of them building me up to be stable on my own, I was able to also make myself be stable, and that's where I normally help myself
Can you then
out.
briefly give us your educational background, looking at how you came into?
Yes, all of my studies I did it in Kenya. I did my primary school in Kenya, then I did international relations in Daystar University.
That's very great.
And I was planning to
So
pursue.
you are a diplomat?
I am a diplomat, yes.
Wow.
And that's why you represent in South
Yes,
Sudan.
I am. So I was supposed to actually venture on my master's this year, but I decided to just dedicate this year to build, my organization and do, during my reigning, to do other things. So I will pursue my master's next year.
Now you're already delivering to the people of South Sudan, as I can see, and the people of South Sudan are already eyeing on you. What do you have to say on issues? Because it's already an organization, organized and well established. The issue of unemployment, looking at the young girls and looking at, actually, this is one of the tangible points that touches people around, crucially actually in South Sudan. Do you have something to say about that?
Yes, it
on
really
the redundant youths?
Yes, it really breaks my heart when I see youth that have gone so far with their studies, knowing that they worked hard and they come back to the country and they don't get that opportunity to be able to, to practice what they studied. It's really a painful thing. And if I had the power, like all the upper hand power to be able to create as much job opportunities as I can for them, I would definitely do that. And that's why I have decided, even with this year of me running my philanthropy work, we're working on creating a lot of job opportunities for these young people to work in my organization. And apart from that, also we're doing a private business stuff that we are working on, and I might also create some job opportunities from there. And apart from that, I am also working on opening an institution whereby we train young people to be able to get access, to get access to work online. These days everything is just internet, everything is social media. And even in other countries, youth are really making a lot of money through social media. And we want to bring that knowledge to South Sudan so that instead of to impact them and empower them to be able to
3 hours a day.
Yes. So even right now, I had a project that I really wanted to share with MTN and maybe digital, whereby they can be able to help out with the internet part, so that these kids can have opportunity to be able to train themselves and maybe just do something for themselves online and make money, so that they can be able to really stabilize themselves. And when they make money online, I know it will be something that will be enough for them to be able to start a business. And them, creating a business, that is where they will also create job opportunities for others. So this has always been also another passion that I'm working on.
The question comes here is looking at the beauty and the fauna, flora of South Sudan. In this industry, this is actually, it looks so amazing in the museum. Do you believe that you are a source of income in South Sudan, looking at the beauty contest and looking at the fauna and flora, the beauty, and looking at actually the beauty of South Sudan as in this industry?
As a source of income? I don't take it in that kind of pride.
Of course, that is one of it. If you look at the tourism, tourism in reflection, tangibly.
Yes.
It is because we've got many things in our country.
Precisely, yes.
Of course, beauty is one of them. When you go touring or go to Egypt, go to Uganda, Kenya, Tanzania,
Precisely,
Australia, Canada. Of course, this is actually one of the attractive zone where tourists would come and pour into the country to look at such.
That is true.
Do you agree with me?
Yes, now I actually I do agree, because now you are really taking me back to one of the incidents that really occurred when I was in Japan. The other contestant, you know, when they see me from being South Sudan, there was a whole different notion that they had about our country, you know. They were like, I mean, how come you're so beautiful? You look, I mean, like you're, like everything is perfect, you know. You are like financially stable. You are like everything just about you is not how it is described on social media. So when I saw that, I mean, when they gave me that that kind of I mean idea, I end up putting them down and I showed them all the beautiful places we have in South Sudan. And I started explaining to them even other girls that are making impact, including the basketballers and everything else. And the point of me actually expanding their mind about what South Sudan was, a lot of them were interested, even with the wildlife that was actually discovered recently.
The beauty of the Nile.
Yes, they were so excited about it. Even some of them were like, you know, they're going to visit the country. And I think this is where I agree with your idea, where you said the beauty can be an impactful thing towards economy.
It's not basically an idea, but it's something that is always happening. Because when you look at the beauty of the country, we look at we look at the source of the Nile, looking at the sources of tourism attraction in any country. Looks at the people themselves, the dark, smooth skin, light, and looking at actually the nature of it. We've got mountains, we have good the River Nile, the source of attraction of unity. You see, our animals are also unique. You know, looking at the gazelle, you know, this kind of
additional people do things. South Sudanese
exactly
short black people. Because they may ask, especially in Nairobi, they ask you, oh, you're brown. How comes you're a South Sudanese? You're a Kikuyu. Do people have brown South Sudanese?
That's really sad.
So yeah, we told them about the 64 tribe.
Yes.
In addition, speaking of your organization, in all interviews, I want you to clarify to people. They may think that your organization only helps and sponsors girls, of which it's not. So I want you to tell them about that.
No. That is not what we do. You know, most of the, it will take me back to this conversation I had with a certain friend of mine. We were talking about some few specific things, and we end up saying that, you know, I feel like with the current generation, we have really empowered women so much to a point we're neglecting male, I mean, the boy child, you know. And I feel that is something that really, we need to do something about it. And when we talk of equality, equality means it's a balance between two genders. And I feel like whenever I do a project, I have to be also fair with others. So it is 50-50. So even with the kids I'm helping out, with the street children, the school stuff and all that, everything is 50-50. We're balancing, making sure that all the kids are attended
we would love to have you next time, maybe with one of the kids from your organization in an interview, so that everybody would watch them from outside.
We'll bring a girl and a boy together.
Definitely.
That would look so amazing. Now that you are here today, and what do you think are some of the hindrances you're going through? Because as far as all this milestone has never been easy for you, and coming up and still you are maneuvering and you look so energetic and strong. Even you are going through many things. What could be some of the hindrances you're going through?
I mean, with someone being an example, a role model, and I mean a philanthropy, a model, all of that, it doesn't just come overnight. It has to have challenges that you have to go through. And one thing that I'm really facing, one thing that really concerns me most of the time, I'm not bothered by others, but this one thing really, I feel, whenever I think about it, it really breaks my heart when I see that my own people don't support me when it comes to that. Like, I can look back to my journey when I went for Miss International. I really went through a lot of bullying online. Because when I was posted about it, instead of them supporting me, knowing that I'm the face of the country and I was I was in a part of where I was trying to change the narrative of what other people have about South Sudan. They didn't see in depth of what I was doing, but instead, yeah, it was all about their own. But I will not be, I will not be affected by that, because I feel like sometimes, you know, people let their insecurity get best of them, and the best way for them to feel good about themselves is to use critics to put other people down. And sometimes I just want my people to get to understand that is not the way forward. You know, as South Sudanese, we are not a lot of us. We're only 12 million, and the best thing that we can do is to help somebody that is setting an example in the international level by encouraging them, by supporting them, even if it's not financially, but online, just by some word of advice. This can really drive them to be prideful that at least I'm doing something and my country people are proud of what I'm doing, you know. So that is one of the main challenges that I am not proud of, and I wish our people could just come together one time and just support one another, so that we can make South Sudan a great place.
Before we go to the mechanisms looking at these challenges, Amelia, Miss International South Sudan representing, many people eyeing on you. Look at the gender part. We have many people who are already on you, and you're already 25 years old. This is an expectation of a woman to look into the marriage. Hey, of course, people outside there are also eyeing into that. Are you in courtship? Are you engaged into marital? No, of course, that is looking at that, because age also play its role. You are not going to be Amelia today. Tomorrow you'll be a different Amelia.
Yes, that is true. Yes, I'm currently.
Tell us.
I'm in a relationship. Yes, I am. And I'm looking into the aspect of marriage. Probably not now, but maybe a year from now.
Oh, that would be great. That's amazing. This is what we want to hear from you. And okay, now looking at the future of South Sudan into the beauty contest, and how would you want this project to be looking at? Let's give it like 5-10 years. South Sudan would be looking like what in your own?
You know, right now, actually, when it comes to the modeling industry, South Sudan is actually taking the pick. It is like the highest country that most girls are really recognized on that. And I feel this is a platform that if people really invest so much in it, it will be another level of where people will end up recognizing South Sudan, just like basketballers. You understand? So just like the way it has created a platform for me, I feel this is an industry that can really create a lot of opportunities for other young girls too that are coming up, and it can be able to transform their life to be what they've always envisioned to be. See, like I was never interested in being a model, but because I needed to do something for me to be able to pursue my passion, I had to do it, and it opened all the doors for me. Look at me right now. I'm a diplomat. I'm also an author.
Great.
I also have, I'm a philanthropist, and I'm doing a lot of great things, and my journey was spiked up by being a model.
Speaking of you being known as a model, what people think outside, they think, okay, this is somebody beautiful taking pictures in beautiful outfits, so would you just mind telling them it's not about being beautiful in that way, and it's not about you being into different countries, cities to make money out of it for yourself. Do you mind telling them what it means for people to be a model?
To add on to what Bara has just said, you know, beauty lies on the hands, on the eyes of the beholders. And again, looking at actually beauty, we have different types of beauty. We have the moral beauty, that is the moral uprightness. We have the inner beauty. We got the physical beauty. We got many kind of beauty. If you're beautiful in your heart, that is actually the most beauty that people have. People recognize. You can be beautiful to other people with admiration. Physically, you can look beauty, but we don't know what is in person's heart. And you know, those kind of beauty. Can you try to say something on that?
You know, with the concept people have about modeling, I basically can disagree with all of that, but also at some point I can accept on that point too, because there's a lot of other models that are making shallow description of how they perceive themselves, and in that context people are actually claiming that that is the type of thing models do, you know. But what I can understand is that in every incident there's two type of people. So other people go for the sake of just the glamorous lifestyle, taking pictures, just to be all those sort of things. But there's also becoming a face of the brand, and nothing more to that. It is all about the money they get out of it. But also on the other side, we have other models that had the passion, like me, somebody who wanted to make an impact in the country. And sometimes you can have the face. Face can take you everywhere. But what keep you to be a successful person is your morals, your perception, your smartness, and how you are able to carry yourself. And I think this is, if I was somebody who did not have all this qualification, I would have been a long time. I mean, no one could even remember my name for now, you know. But because of the qualities and the aspect that I had, and the passion that I had within me,
and still
yes, I can say that my name has widened up from the beginning of when I started it.
A question related to what you just responded. Like I told you before, you've been an inspiration to the girls outside. How would they apply online, like to the modeling agencies? And what are the requirements?
You know, with that actually, it has really brought me back to one of the topics that I've always wanted to share with my people. You know, so far, our girls have been taken advantage of, and I'm not happy about that. Because we don't have any modeling agency in South Sudan that can be able to handle these young girls that go abroad. There's agencies from Uganda, from Nairobi, from South Africa, from Nigeria that are actually handling this. And I feel it is a duty of our own people to handle this, because these are our girls and they're young girls. These girls that go for modeling, they're from probably 14 all the way to 24, you know. And these are people that need to be helped out and all that. So in that perspective, I have obligated myself to start a modeling agency. And in that modeling agency, I'm going to open a lot of doors for them, whereby I can be able to give them chances to register. And from there, I will try also to build my connection with the international agencies so that they can be able to get access to that. And before I could do that, there's still opportunities. So if there's any young girl out there who wants to be a model, just go and search online. Most of the international agencies, they will send you an email and you just submit your portfolio.
And speaking of them online, you know, some could be a myth.
Yeah, some of them.
Some could be a myth. Like
but there's
some
legit
of them.
One.
Okay, how do you define the legit one? Because everyone almost buying likes on IG, and they ask you to send inappropriate photos, whereby they ask you to send a bra. Is that it?
No, that is actually not the context. A legit agency will not ask you for all those sort of things. They will take your email and they will request just for your age, your weight, and just a portfolio of you in like full clothes. And from there, they will also maybe look for you to have a small video clip where you're walking so that they can see your determination. And from there, then that's when you know it's a legit agency. But others which ask you for nude pictures and all that, no. That is
because they say that in the rules you should at least be on a crop top,
Miss International, that is okay. Accessing you alone is one of the challenges when it comes to those who would actually getting access to you. It's another challenge. And looking into South Sudan today, and the social media plays a big role. And looking at those who could not access you. South Sudan is a vast country that you got 10 states. People could not access you into the net, looking into the TV stations and radio stations, information that comes in and looking at that. Those are some of the challenges. And if we look at the general challenges that you've been, these hindrances that you've been talking about, what could be some of these mechanisms that you would want to come with concretely to put this in place so that it goes smoothly?
For my organization?
Exactly.
So far, we're having a lot of projects that we're planning, and you mean like a part of where I can get to be accessed?
Exactly, access into the information, access into the funds that the challenges are going through, because you as an organization, you're not working alone. You can be working with some other partnership together to fulfill your mission and the vision of your agendas that you have.
I think through social media probably, because this is where I share most of my journey stuff, and also I have a few of my employees that are working with me. So I think the easiest way for them to access me, I have my Facebook account, I have my Instagram, I have my email, I have I mean, all sort of social media. My name
Do
is
you
all that.
work with South Sudanese experts, or you work
South
with that?
Sudanese? No. All of my people that I work with are South Sudanese.
Okay.
Yeah.
How expert are they?
They have so much experience, a lot. Yeah. They do. They're quite expert, and I know that if they get to be even interviewed, I could be proud to say that these are people I'm working with, yeah, because they also have the same determination and the passion with me, and their passion is just to upgrade the country, inspire other people, and make sure that we empower a lot of young people to be themselves.
Speaking of that, would you name your organization? What's the name of your organization in full?
My organization is called Nations Hope, but we end up changing it into health awareness in South Sudan, just health recently.
In South Sudan.
Yes, and the reason why we change it into that, I feel like in the health sector, a lot of people are really not focusing on that, and there's a lot of things that are happening. Yeah. And I feel like right now is the time for me to actually start advocating on that. So that is my organization.
Okay, I believe your people have resumed schools.
Yes, they have.
Wow, we're going to come for a visit.
Definitely.
Thank you.
Most of them are actually in different schools, by the way. And because I don't have, it is part of my plans, let's say probably a long run plans for me to build a big orphanage, and in the orphanage we're going to have a school, so that I don't have to divide them into different schools, paying school fees and all that. Because in future, if I have the orphanage and the school, I don't need to pay anything. All I have to do is just to bring the teachers and get somebody that can be able to take care of them. So most of them are probably in different schools. Like we have 110 in Juba, we have 70 of them in a will, and a few of them.
So you mean they're not only within the city, but they're within?
Yes, in rural areas.
Okay. Yeah. I think now you're delivering services to the people of South Sudan.
I'm actually even planning.
Do you have part of them in nursery, primary, high school, or
nursery? For now, we cannot handle that because we don't have the orphanage to take care of the kids. So most of the aspect we are looking toward kids that are able to take care of themselves, But in the near future, when we have the orphanage, we're going to also take care of the young kids. But apart from that, anyway, I'm also planning something that I know none of the queens have ever thought of. During my reign, I'm thinking of visiting all the 64 tribes.
Yes. I love that.
And most of the counties, I'm going to be there.
Great. I think that is another thing, that is a very important thing you've also brought up. Looking at South Sudan, because what we're discussing on here today, we're looking at actually the beauty of the country, the beauty and the fauna and the flora of the country. Looking actually, as I did mention, when you look at the museum and you look at the source of the Nile, mineral resources that we have, and the beauty of the animals that attracts the human beings also, that people are contented outside to get attracted into the South Sudan. Can you try to tell us some of the regions that you've seen in South Sudan, because you are the daughter of the soil. Now look into the regions.
The
we
places
have east,
I've been?
south, west, the areas of actually looking at the activities you are going through.
The activities that I want to implement in most of the regions? For example,
looking at the beauties of the girls, ladies that are outside there. We have our will, one of them as you're coming from. We have Eastern Equatoria. Can you try to mention some of them? We have Western Equatoria, and at the same time,
I've actually visited.
Representing.
Yeah, I've actually visited a few Equatorian counties. I've gone to Torit. I've also gone to Yambio.
Exactly.
And I've also, apart from that, I have ever gone to Malakal. So apart from just being in my region, I've actually expanded. I've also ever gone to Wow, been in a will. So probably even Rumbek. So now my part is just to expand into that. And the main aim of actually me traveling to all these cities, I want to show the world the different version of what South Sudan is. Like example, Yambio is known for all the fruits, the beautiful people there. So it's part of me to make a documentary about that and portray it to the world to see that there's a lot of beauty there. And we have different shades of beauty in South Sudan. Just like the way Yambio, they're light skin. When I go to Rumbek, they're dark skin tall. When I go
smooth, to dark skin. Great.
So when you go to all these different places, I mean, the entire 64 tribes, all of us, we come in different shape, different forms, and all that.
And they show people around the mountains.
Yes. So these are part of the things I want to showcase to the world for them to know. Also, South Sudan is a very huge country that has a lot of different things that they need to also venture in. apart from what it is known for, a war-torn country. There's more to South Sudan apart from that.
Of course, many regions are known
we
for
had an
many
interview here. That was when you were supposed to travel to Japan,
Yes.
and everybody knew you were here and you were leaving the country.
Yes.
So would you mind telling them what you went to do in Japan and how did it end up going?
It was amazing, actually. So I went, after my interview here, I had like almost a week to prepare. And I went to Japan. We had a 3-week sensation in Japan before the finals. And South Sudan luckily made it to top 10.
Great.
And that is one of the biggest pride that I take in for my country. And in that point of view also, we were able to really get recognized in many aspects of ways. Yeah. And we've gone to, it was in Japan, we visited almost 5 places, you know, Kaga, Yakumai, and then we went to like Tokyo, just many places. And in that part of it, I was able to build a lot of, even in Kaga, city in Japan, we met the mayor and I took a picture with him.
Great.
That is another big milestone, you know. In that part of me, I felt like I was an ambassador of South Sudan to Japan, and I was able to portray the face of our country. And when I came back, I met with a Japanese ambassador. Who is a very incredible person. Yeah, I mean, he has been also supportive of my journey during the Miss International. So what I can say is that I tried my best. I made the country proud, and I'm looking forward to doing more activities that will be able to make the country get recognized.
Amelia, now just because of our time, and I think you have represented South Sudan outside, and looking at also the amazing things you've done, and you having great hopes, and looking at actually your activities to the young people of South Sudan, service delivery and many things to mention, but a few. Would you be able to wind up looking at being as an ambassador, representing, and you know, peace is one of the elements that that would be inclusive, because without peace, you would not go through some of these activities. What do you have to finally say?
To be honest, representing South Sudan is a very prideful thing for me, and I feel like I am very grateful to be given that big position to be able to present the country, and I look forward to doing a lot of initiatives that will be able to make the world recognize South Sudan for what it is, and I'm looking forward also to getting the support from my own people, and also for us to be able to do things that promote peace, and also things, I mean, great things for the country, make South Sudan great again.
In additional
to, by the way, people have a message for you from outside. I received a message on an email from Jubawan Girls Primary School, and they said they would love to see you on a day organized.
Yeah, definitely, I can do that.
So, okay, instead of you saying Jubawan, we decided to put all the schools, like collect maybe 10 girls from each, and you sit down, advise them.
Yes, I can do that. I can do
that. Viewers, this was Amelia Deng here with us on the studio, Miss International South Sudan, who has been representing us. So always stay with us, tuned, and this is our show, Alpha Morning Show. Follow us on all our Facebook media platforms. You will find SSBC on Facebook, and our show is basically called Alpha Morning Show, same as YouTube. And here's my colleague, sir.
Oh, great. Amelia, I think we have come. Do you have something to say still?
No, I'm just grateful. Thank you so much for this amazing time, and I'm looking forward to more interviews with the coming to introduce the great things that I've actually achieved, and also inspiring others.
Thank you so much, Amelia. Viewers of Alpha Morning Show, this is Alpha Morning Show. Of course, if you've just been following us, we have come to the end of this program. As you had been tuning us on the social media, on SSBC Special and YouTube, we had been here, SSBC Official. And we had been here on also the YouTube. If you had been following us, we are still here in the studio. I think we have come to the end of this program. My name is Soro David, your host. As usual, we had been discussing the beauty of South Sudan, looking at the representation of South Sudan being internationally outside there, and looking at South Sudan itself, which is so amazing country that people couldn't believe that some things would happen like this. And at least South Sudan is making to the top. We have come to the end of this program. Continue watching the rest of your programs on your national television. As we say, Bye-bye for now. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Ni South Sudan, doko la biro, ni achoni South Sudan. Ni rumiel video. Ojili batin koki kokweredo. Koi gacholi, ojili batin woni wokwerea. Koi gangwo, lila batin koki kokweredo. Koi gacholi, lila batin woni wokwerea. Koi gangwo, lila batin koki kokweredo. Gacholi, choli mati woni wokweya. Woi gacholi, chara mati loki kokweredo. Koi galwo, chara mati woni wokweredo. Woi gacholi, choli, Windball Copodero from Nazareth Music City. Anyira tua, awobe tua, 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 anyira tua, awobe tua. Hey! Hello! Copodero. Anye kwara, dina mieluga. Agora, dina mieluga. Dina mieluga. Dina mieluga. Dina chanyu, omeya. Dina chanyu. Dina mielu, oba. Dina tongu. Dina tonguba. Papi. Dina mielu. Dina mielu do. Alua. Dina mielu. Dina chanyu ya. Omeya. Dina tongu. Dina tongu do.
CB Records, producer City Boy.
Hey! Jump! 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 Panikwara, kuru gangwa. Gangwa do, omeya. Kuru payewa. Payewa do, agoro. Kuru gangwa. Kuru gangwa, aja. Kuru payewa. Kuru payewa, magwi. Kuru gangwa.
Anti monye ni